Well, reports, rumors, and rumblings are rampant this time of year, but nobody truly knows how a team's board stacks up. The most popular pick for the Raiders at number 6 all spring has been Boise State running back Jeanty. The Heisman Trophy runner-up could bolster a run game that ranked dead last in the NFL last season. Pete Carroll's history of running the rock and leaning on a workhorse back makes Vegas a fit, and GM John Spytek might value the running back position enough to pull the trigger that early.
It makes him so special to where he might be careful.
I mean, we just saw Saquon Barkley just change the Eagles in one year. I don't know where we got to a place where we don't feel like running backs are valued.
Coming just 28 yards shy of Barry Sanders' single-season college rushing record last fall, Jeanty could see his number 2 in silver and black.
I think it's well known by them that I'd be a great, fit as a person and player.
The quarterback position needs to be supported in every way possible so that they can be as effective as they're able to be. And that takes a combination of elements that make up the support of the QB. The running game is a huge element of that.
If Jeanty is off the board, or if Spytek prioritizes a more premium position, the Raiders could beef up the trenches with an offensive tackle. If LSU's Will Campbell is taken, Missouri's Mauler Armand Membou could plug right in at right tackle, adding protection for Geno Smith and opening lanes for a potential selection later on in a deep running back class.
That starts with the big boys up front, and I think you can trace that back to my playing days at Michigan too. Like, that's how we were built in those years, and it's kind of who I am to my core.
Outside of Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers, this Raiders offense is void of playmakers, with Heisman winner, hybrid wide receiver cornerback Travis Hunter expected to be off the board. Arizona wideout Teteroa McMillan would add a big-bodied target. If Mason Graham slides past Jacksonville at 5, the disruptive Michigan defensive tackle could pair with Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins to form a D-line to be reckoned with.
The one thing I'll say about Tom is we share a love of Michigan, and that's kind of like the genesis, a lot of ways, of our football journey, and we share a lot of common thread and thought because we had that experience together.
I come from the University of Michigan to my core.
Another Wolverine to look out for at a position of need is corner Will Johnson. Dark horses at pick 6 are versatile Georgia outside linebacker Jalen Walker, plus a pair of Texas Longhorns in tackle Kelvin Banks Jr. and corner Jahdae Barron.
Well, I have my biases, I think, in positions that I like. I know he does too, and they end up matching up pretty well.
Extending Geno Smith signals it won't be a QB of the future at 6, but the team could trade back into the first round for a sliding signal caller, like Colorado's Shedeur Sanders, Ole Miss's Jackson Dart, or even Alabama's Jalen Milroe.
We remain open to the most important position in sports to get right. You can't have too many of those guys.
Many draft experts out there have pegged Jeanty to Las Vegas at number 6, but it's far from a lock. The Jacksonville native could go to the Jaguars at 5, and even if the Heisman runner-up is still on the board, this is the deepest running back class in years. So John Spytek could opt to address a premium position in the trenches with their top pick. But Alex, the Raiders aren't just looking for great players on the field, they're also looking for players who are great off the field as well.
Absolutely, Nick. And whether it's back-to-school events, food drives, or youth football games, the Las Vegas Raiders spend time with our community in more ways than one. I am going Teteroa McMillan, U of A, my alma mater, obviously his alma mater, at number 6. Who are you going, Nick?
Well, in that case, as a former Longhorn, I have to go Kelvin Banks Jr., the offensive tackle out of Texas, and he is actually a dark horse pick for number 6. But Alex, when you look at the options, if you Google mock draft, many have Jeanty to the Raiders. But it looks like that might not be the case as we head into Thursday, because there are reports coming out of camp that the Raiders look to be taking an offensive lineman, and there are people within that building that are pushing Spytek to address the trenches. And with that pick, it could be Missouri offensive tackle Armand Membou, or if Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham slips past Jacksonville, I think Spytek and Tom Brady like their Michigan men.
Where does Shedeur Sanders fall in all of this, Nick?
Well, keep in mind, I would be shocked if the Raiders actually took a quarterback, Shedeur, or anyone else in the top half of the first round. But keep in mind, they could always trade up back into the first round and possibly snag their quarterback of the future. And we know that Shedeur and Tom Brady go way back. But look out for Armand Membou, Mason Graham, and some other offensive linemen with that 6th pick. But we'll have coverage before the draft through the weekend. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Nick Walters.
I'm Alex Eshelman. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow starting at 4:30 for our NFL Draft Special Day 1.